Hello, this is BBC Newsline with Noel Thompson and Donna Trent.
The headlines this Tuesday evening.
Pay for Quango chairman, why there's concern over the haves and the have-nots.
How would you fancy being paid £32,000 a year for 1 day's work per week? Not bad in the middle of a recession, not bad any time.
Well, that's just one example of the kind of money paid to the part-time chairs of our non-departmental government bodies, or Quangos as they used to be called.
The Commissioner for Public Appointments has told us she's concerned at the apparent absence of rhyme or reason in how the salaries are calculated. BBC Newsline's Julian has been investigating.
Northern Ireland has a long list of more than 100 public bodies which report to our 11 stormont departments, ranging from the likes of the Housing Executive to the lesser-known Drainage Council. Each is overseen by part-time boards, headed by a chairman, some paid, others not.
Well, these two reports, the size of two small telephone books maybe, were published by Stormont in December. And what they do is draw together all public appointments for the 12 months up until last March. They tell you who sits on what boards, what they get paid, if anything, and what their workload is. Based on the contents of those reports, we've drawn up a kind of league table on pay, ranging from the dozens who earn nothing, well, except for travel expenses, all the way up to those maybe on 10, 13, 15, 16,000 in some cases for 12 days work a year, right the way up to the top of the table to Northern Ireland Housing Executive, Invest NI, their chairman earning about 40,000 a year for 48 and 130 days work a year respectively.
The Department of Finance and Personnel signs off on who gets paid what, but it's individual departments which decide whether there is a salary in the first place, and if there is, what it should be. The disparity may be part explained by each department doing its own thing, something which bewilders the public appointments watchdog.
Well, each department does set their own amounts, and I mean there is, from having talked to departments, all 11 of them in different times about these things, there's no rhyme nor reason that I can find for how they set the remuneration.
But you would have thought that there should be some type of criteria which applies across departments, so there is an equitable scale.
You would have, wouldn't you? But it just doesn't seem to be like that, or certainly I've never been able to find any particular mechanism. It's almost what the market will stand.
Until quite recently, Pat O'Kane was chairman of one of the non-departmental bodies, the Southern Regional College. He was motivated by community spirit, just as well because it was unpaid work, and the 6 meetings he expected became more like 50, leading him and 3 other overworked college chairmen to resign over the pay issue.
It was quite an issue for some of the chairs. It wasn't particularly an issue for me.
But you fully understood where they were coming from?
Given the workload and the demands in time and the level of professionalism that was needed to execute the job, yes, I do. I've been involved in numerous committees and pay has never been a factor of it, but I am, surprised to learn that there are a number of positions throughout Northern Ireland which carry quite considerable salaries.
In that specific instance, the regional college chairman come under the Department of Employment and Learning, and while it felt the chairman should be paid, it couldn't, for whatever reason at the time, convince the Department of Finance and Personnel to sign off on the salaries. On the broader issue of who gets paid and who doesn't, the Department of Finance admitted to us that there is no centrally determined pay policy, something which is borne out by the figures. Julian, BBC Newsline, Belfast.